So a few weeks ago I was emailed by a lady called Beatrice, who's a representative of the BBC. So she'd been watching some of my history videos on my channel Tyneside Life and was really impressed by my local knowledge. In particular, she'd watched the video about the Geordie, what a Geordie is and what a Geordie isn't, and the area's connection with the Jacobite uprising and King George in the early to mid 1700s. She asked me if I would be willing to take part in a kind of an assessment to see if I'd be suitable to go on a documentary in 2023. So I said yes. So this video is about what the documentary is actually about and how I come to get asked to go on it and what's going to happen next. It's coming up. Welcome back, it's Eddie from Tyneside Life. So in the spring of 2023 there's going to be a 4-part history documentary on the BBC about the union, and I mean the union between England, Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland, how it all come to be and how it's evolved over the centuries. Of course, the union is at risk at the moment with some massive geopolitical upheavals that have been going on in recent years, and now with Brexit, Scotland wanting another independence referendum, Wales becoming a bit disgruntled. So it's really quite interesting, but also in terms of group and individual identity, how it affects us all. A subject I'm really fascinated in, social, cultural, political identity, which is why I've done the video on the Geordies, what they are, what they're not, and dispelling some myths. So it's a bit like trying to find the base of a rainbow or wrap water up in newspaper, trying to discuss and get to the bottom of identity. Fascinating subject. So anyway, that's what the documentary is about. Now, hosting the documentary is going to be a professor of history called David Olusoga, OBE. He's a BAFTA award winner. You've probably seen him on the television in various factual documentaries on the BBC. He's a writer, he's a journalist, he's a broadcaster, he's a filmmaker. Like I say, he's a professor of history. Fascinating and interesting guy, and I suppose what he probably doesn't know about history isn't worth knowing. So he's going to be talking about all the meaty things about the union. But I did a little bit of research on Professor Olusoga because I didn't know a great deal about him. But he was born in Lagos in Nigeria in 1970. But when he was age 5, him and his family moved to Gateshead. Unfortunately, because of racist attacks on him and his family in his home, he was forced to move in his teens. He then went on to Liverpool University and got his degree in history. I suppose you could consider David Olusoga as a bit like the Brian Cox of the history world. Anyway, back to my involvement. I had an assessment with Beatrice, representing the BBC, who asked me a load of questions on my knowledge on history of various times in the UK, from the start of the Union, but through the Middle Ages, the Civil War of the 1640s, the Jacobite uprising, but also the Industrial Revolution, going on to the First and the Second World War, and how I felt about certain aspects of that, how it affected, in my opinion, social and cultural identity. So it was, went on for about half an hour. It was quite in depth. And at the end of it, she said, yeah, would love to have you on the programme. Couldn't believe it. As a diagnosed autistic man with some learning difficulties, left school with absolutely no qualifications whatsoever, going on a history documentary on the BBC in the spring. So I just wanted to mention that. I'm chuffed to bits. I thought you might find it interesting. I'll let you know when I've done the filming. I've got to go down to Birmingham in the next few weeks to do the film, and I'm just going to be amongst some others who are going to be kind of sat in like a room stroke studio and asked my opinion on various things. I'm certainly not going to be talking in depth about history, so that's going to be my particular part in it. I'm really excited, and it's just kind of, I'm letting you know as well, because if you're out there and you think you're disadvantaged in some way, you know, if you work hard, you know, read. I read a lot. I devour as many bits of research as I can to learn something on a particular subject. Don't just rely on YouTube for finding out facts. Read books from established experts. You know, be curious, be inquisitive, develop your own opinions on subjects. Question your own opinions that you currently have. You know, turn them around, drill into them. It's fascinating stuff, learning new things, and I love that. So I just thought to do a little video mentioning that I'm going to be in this documentary, and I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you appreciated me just letting you know. And if you like the video, give us a thumbs up. Let me know what you think in the comments below as well, and don't forget to subscribe. And anyway, until next time, catch you later.